Welcome to the Film Geezers podcast. I'm Robbo. I'm here with Cheeto.
Hello.
And on this podcast we'll be discussing top 10 actors. These are our own personal choices and are very objective. What I found is it's very difficult. How do you judge best actor? Do you judge it on awards won? Do you judge them on their range? Do you judge them on longevity? So, yeah, it was very difficult. So, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
So, my first actor is Sam Rockwell.
I did not expect that at all.
He often plays quirky or sort of unlikable characters. Some of his films: Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, directed by George Clooney; Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy; Moon; Seven Psychopaths; Green Mile, where he plays Wild Bill, the child murderer and rapist; Galaxy Quest, Frost Nixon; Iron Man 2, where he plays a villain, Justin Hammer; Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, where he won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, where he plays a racist troubled police officer; and the film Vice, where he was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor by portraying George W. Bush, and in Jojo Rabbit as well. So I think, he's an often underrated actor, and a lot of the choices I based my choices on actors that I would actually watch. So if I'm like looking for a film, scrolling through a film, and I see one of these actors in it, I'll probably give the film a go.
Yeah, there's a few of my actors that do that, but I didn't expect that, to be fair. But hey,
so that's what's your first one?
My first one is going to be, in a lot of people's list. Is Sean Connery.
Yeah, good.
Obviously, when you talk about Sean Connery, you've got to talk about James Bond. But I think that he could have easily been typecast, but he's beat that because he's been in so many other roles. Of course, he'll always be remembered as James Bond, his legacy. But
the only thing with Sean Connery is whatever role he plays, it's Sean Connery. Yeah. But you kind of look past that, don't you? Really?
Yeah.
And
I mean, he became the number one actor to have after his role in The Untouchables, didn't he? Because obviously he won the supporting Oscar for that, and everyone wanted him in that film. Films I can think of. His first film after that was The Presidio with Mark Harmon, which is a good film, and it's probably his biggest role after is Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade, where he played Henry Jones Sr., Indy's dad. Just a couple more: The Hunt for Red October, Rising Sun, The Rock, etc. All good films. He's an actor where I'd watch the film just because he's in it. I'd go searching for films. Like I remember on TiVo, you can search the actors' films that they're in. Yeah. And I was literally just searching his filmography to see films that he's in. He was a brilliant actor, not in the way of like Laurence Olivier or Christopher Lee, that Shakespearean actor. But he was just he was the leading man. He had that screen presence. I think only a few actors in history, have had that effect. So that's why he's number one on my list.
Oh, good choice. Thank you. Okay, my second actor is Gary Oldman.
Yeah, he was very close to being on mine. Purely
just because of the wide range of characters that he's portrayed and the wide range of genres. He admits himself he's got this kind of big, over-the-top acting style, which made him the kind of go-to villain in the 90s. Yeah. And he was nicknamed everyone's favourite psycho because he played a lot of English actors end up playing villains in sort of those 90s action films. But I mean, his first major film was he played Sid Vicious in Sid Nancy, which was like a bio about the Sex Pistols. A really good performance as Lee Harvey Oswald in JFK, Oliver Stone's film. He played Count Dracula in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
He played the what's his name in Harry Potter?
Yeah, Sirius Black.
Yeah.
He was in a film that is a really good film, Leon the Professional, which stars Jean Reno as a French assassin and teaching Natalie Portman. He was in Air Force One as the villain. Lost in Space, he played the villain. Batman.
The Dark Knight trilogy, Commissioner Gordon, he's very good. And I think why he is one of the greatest actors of all time is because a lot of people don't even know that he's English.
No.
And that's just testament to him, really, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, where he was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor, and Darkest Hour, where he actually won the Academy Award for Best
the lead actor,
playing Winston Churchill. So that's
like I said, he was very close to being on my list. Right, my second is Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's no it's not a surprise, really. I know a lot of his films have the same formula and they have a lot of the same tropes, but he has been in some of the greatest action movies all time. And to be fair, those movies would not be anywhere near as good if he wouldn't have been in them. You know, he is that competent leading man. You know.
But if you base it on box office,
he is the go-to guy.
He's one of the biggest, box office draws.
You know, he's going to give a great performance, and that's just a testament to him, really. I mean, he's played some of the most iconic characters. You know, the T-800 in the Terminator franchise, Dutch and Predator, Conan the Barbarian, and he's even been able, like Sean Connery, to avoid being typecast. I think, personally, I think he's even avoided being typecast in just action films as he's branched out into other genres such as comedy with Twins and Kindergarten Cop. You know, of course he'll always be known as an action hero, but you know he can do much more than that. You know, but like I said, for the 80s, for the 90s, with Sean Connery, he was. If you had an action film, you want him as your star because he can just. Once again, he is that. I don't know if there's a lot of actors on that I just go looking for films that are in, but he just is the leading man. You know what I mean? You know, shit's gonna get down when he's in the film. Yeah, that's a good choice, I think.
Thank you. So my next one is Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
He's renowned for his preparation, for his film roles, his versatility. He was mainly a stage actor, but he did make some early films. But obviously his breakout role was as Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs.
Legendary performance.
Yeah. So some of his films: Hamlet, A Bridge Too Far, Elephant Man, obviously Silence of the Lambs, and obviously the sequels Red Dragon and Hannibal. He was in Bram Stoker's Dracula as well. Remains of the Day, Shadowlands, Nixon, where he played Richard Nixon, Mask of Zorro, Thor, Transformers. So that's kind of his versatility there as well.
No, he was also in The Fastest Indian as well, which is like it.
Fastest Indian, and obviously Silence of the Lambs, he won the Academy Award for Best Actor.
How long was he on screen for?
It wasn't long. It was
25 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but again, it's just. It was just such a captivating performance. You just, you just couldn't take your eyes off of him, and he really did have that kind of menace as well.
Yeah, no, especially. I mean, I remember the first scene where you actually see him. He's just stood looking back at Clarice, and you just, that's. It's not just. A lot of people don't just think you can pull a face off, but no, that's actually brilliant acting to show emotion without even speaking. You know what I mean? And just like I said, that's just a testament to him. He definitely deserved the Oscar for that. So really good choice. Like I said, it was very close on my list. A lot of these are, you know what I mean? But my third actor is Kurt Russell. Like I said, you probably expect that. I don't know. He's not an actor I really grew up with until I was 15. You know, I kind of discovered him, and then I just looked at all of his movies, and I became a fan. I mean, Snake Plissken is obviously is probably his biggest role. Like I said, I'm a big John Carpenter fan, and Escape from New York is one of my favourite films of all time.
Because he actually started off as a
child star. Yeah, I'm not going to watch that.
And made that transition into which a lot of child actors struggle to do. Make that transition.
And he made it to a leading man, action hero sort of guy. He, like I said, he's more like a anti-hero in that. He's great in The Thing. I think because obviously he had that sort of partnership with John Carpenter, didn't he? You know, he can play other roles as well. Like in Breakdown, he's just a husband. He's not like a competent, like he's not like a CIA agent. He's not part of the army or anything. You know what I mean? And then he's the White House commissioner in Executive Decision. He's almost in the end. He turns out to be the one to save the day, but he almost is like a
like a reluctant hero.
He's a detriment to his team almost, right. Because obviously he goes in the plane with Steven Seagal's Special Forces team, but like I said, he turns out to be almost like save the day sort of thing. But no, definitely he's one of my favourite actors of all time, and like I said, he makes his movies, you know what I mean? So yeah,
that's good choice again. My next one, I don't know if he's on your list, Tom Hanks.
Yeah, he is on my list, yeah.
Just really because his versatility, I mean, he's a prolific actor. Just looking through his list of films.
He's been in so many films, hasn't he? Yeah.
I mean, he started out in sort of comedy roles, moving into dramatic roles. Just a few of them: Splash, Bachelor Party, Big. Those were like even though for Big he actually was nominated for an Academy Award for that. Then he sort of Sleepless in Seattle, so he's done those romantic roles. Philadelphia and Forrest Gump, which he won back-to-back Best Actor Oscars for those. Apollo 13, Toy Story, Saving Private Ryan, Green Mile, Captain Phillips, Bridge of Spies, News of the World.
I mean, he's had such a long span of career.
Yeah.
I actually, I read an article the other day, and quite a few actors on my list can fit into this category, but it said, is Tom Hanks the last true great movie star? And like I said, he's in that last era of late 80s, 90s sort of film stars that you just don't get anymore. That can their name alone can just they have that pulling power. You know what I mean? And he has that pulling power, but he also has the acting ability to go with it. You know what I mean? Like I said, for me personally, he's easily one of the greatest of all time, and he can basically play any role.
Yeah, I know, and I think he's the fourth highest grossing actor of all time.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me at all, because like I said, he's even making movies nowadays, isn't he? You know, that are making money. So
definitely.
No, but like I said, I do enjoy his movies. But my fourth is Harrison Ford. I don't know if you have it.
No, I kind of debated that.
Yeah,
but I didn't.
Almost maybe. Well, let's face it. I'm going to get to Star Wars in a sec, but his first film was American Graffiti, wasn't it? That's how he got to know George Lucas. He actually got the part of Han Solo reading lines for other actors, didn't he?
Yeah.
That were going to play Han Solo, like Kurt Russell was up for it, Al Pacino was up for it, and he also was a carpenter and working on the set of A New Hope, wasn't he? That's how he sort of got the job. Because I remember George Lucas said that he doesn't want actors that have been in his films previous.
We didn't want any sort of really known actors.
No.
Even though Mark Hamill had been a TV.
Yeah. That's just George Lucas, isn't it?
Well, but digress from
and that. He's with all due respect to the other main actors, he's the only actor who's sort of gone on and done other things and made it. I mean, he's in the top 5 grossing movies of all time. He was a huge bona fide movie star, wasn't he?
Well, in between A New Hope and Empire, he made Indiana Jones, Raiders Lost Ark. He made The Witness. He made Blade Runner, brilliant. I think.
Blade Runner 1982.
So he's kind of tried to get away because it wasn't.
He doesn't really like talking about Han Solo because that's all people want to talk about. Like, he's got such a huge filmography that what I mean.
Because it wasn't certain he'd actually appear in sequels, was it?
No, that's why they froze him in carbonite, you know. But just other films, he played in Jack Ryan. Series of films, which I do like. They're very good films. Air Force One, which is with Gary Oldman, is a favourite of mine. But yeah, like I said, he really did sort of. It's not that he doesn't like talking about Star Wars, but he's got such a huge filmography and he's such a huge movie star that he doesn't want to just be remembered for that. But he's definitely one of my favourite actors of all time.
Okay, good choice. So my next one is Clint Eastwood.
Oh yeah, I knew that was going to be on yours.
Yeah, he's not a great actor, I would say, but he's got this kind of minimally expressive acting style, but he's just got a screen presence.
Yeah.
You can just you watch, say, the Fistful of Dollars or whatever, and he can express so much just with a movement of his eyes or change in the expression on his face. And he tends to play these tough loner types, violent. But he can also play comedy as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he started out in a sort of number of low-budget horror films, and then he got a TV show, Western, called Rawhide. And it was during the making of Rawhide that he went off to make A Fistful of Dollars. I was reading the story the other day that the producers of Rawhide wouldn't release him for a month to go and film A Fistful of Dollars.
Why is that?
I don't know, but apparently faked a car accident. Said he got whiplash, so he took a month off and went and shot A Fistful of Dollars. But again, he's one of those actors who's moved into directing, has been just as successful.
Oh yeah, he's just as good as an actor. Probably a better director than he is.
And I think he's probably acted in about 30 of the 38 films he's directed.
Yeah. I
mean, but you look at some of the films he's directed, like American Sniper, Mystic River, that he's not been in.
He won. What was? Because he's won a few Oscars for directing. He's obviously $1 Million Baby.
Unforgiven.
Yeah, Unforgiven. Yep.
So he's made some really good films, not just as an actor.
I mean,
as a director.
My personal favourite is In the Line of Fire.
Yeah.
Even though it's not, him in a western, it's not, his acting ability goes much further past that.
So you've got like the Dollars trilogy. You've got Where Eagles Dare, which is a war film with Richard Burton. Paint Your Wagon, which is actually a western, but it's a musical when it actually sings as well. Kelly's Heroes, another
favourite of mine.
Play Mischief for Me, which is a thriller. Dirty Harry, obviously. Outlaw Josie Wales, which is a really good western. Every Which Way But Loose, which is kind of a comedy film with the orangutan in it.
Oh really?
Escape from Alcatraz,
yeah,
which I think is one of your favourites.
Yeah, I do like that film.
Bronco Billy, which is another comedy. Firefox, which is a Cold War thriller where he steals a Russian plane. Heartbreak Ridge, Unforgiven, which he was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actor. In the Line of Fire, Space Cowboys, $1 Million Baby, which he was nominated for Best Actor. Gran Torino and The Mule.
That's the thing as well. How old is he?
He's maybe in his 90s. I think.
I think he's in his 90s, and he's still making films. And he's still making good films as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
But he's an actor where I've not necessarily gone out to look for his name, but when I've watched films in it, I've really enjoyed his films. But no, definitely he's one of the greatest actors of all time. Right, my next actor is Leonardo DiCaprio, and to some people it might be like, how's he on a favourite actors list? But I think maybe in the last sort of that new generation actors, I don't think there's a better actor, or there's a bigger actor. I mean, you get two sides. You get the child star, and then you get the like pre-teen, like early 20s Leonardo DiCaprio, and then you get the much more mature, brilliant actor Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, I like quite a few of his films. Believe it or not, I like Titanic. And I did a course of media about it. Like I said, he started out as a child star in Disney, and I guess sort of his first early acting performances, you can kind of see that. Obviously like Romeo and Juliet.
When he first started, I didn't really like him, but he's kind of grown on me.
Yeah, like I said, he's not the actor he used to be. Like, I really like him in Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah,
it's a really good film. Obviously, I wish he would have. He was George Lucas' first choice to play Anakin Skywalker. I wish he would have done that in the prequels. But yeah, like I said, and maybe in the last 15 years, he's really become one of the. Obviously, he's the biggest box office draw, but he's really become just a brilliant actor. Like I said, in Inception, he's amazing. I really did like him in that performance.
Did he get an Oscar for Wall Street?
No, he won the Oscar for The Revenant.
Because
there was that thing where he almost broke Peter O'Toole's nominations, and he just could. He was making these great movies, giving these great performances. He just couldn't win the Oscar, and then Revenant came along, won the Oscar. Well, like I said, like you mentioned, Wolf of Wall Street, he's really good in that, but you do have to set aside like a whole day to watch that film because it's just. But I recommend watching it, but it's a really good film. But like I said, he's another one where the movies won't be anywhere near as good if he wasn't in them. You know what I mean? Like I said, he does have that box office.
Yeah. I think one of the first films I saw him in which I liked him was Departed.
Yeah, Departed, he's brilliant in that. Like I said, I think that properly showed. I think that in like the main movie audience, I think that showed how good of an actor he actually was, and I think people actually started respecting him because I know he was like there was this whole Leonardo Dicaprio, like all the girls loved him, all that stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think sometimes that can, when people talk about greatest actors of all time, his early years can come into it, but no, I think he is just on his acting ability alone. Definitely in the last 20 years, he's the best actor out there. So that's why he's on my list.
Nice choice. So my next one's Jack Nicholson. Purely because he's got a wide range of starring and supporting roles.
I actually have Jack Nicholson on my list as well. Yeah,
he's played comic characters, romantic leads, anti-heroes, and villains. And in a lot of his films, he plays that kind of eternal outsider, sardonic drifter, someone who's always kind of rebelling against a social structure. His early career started out in low-budget horror films, working with Roger Corman, and his first real breakout film was Easy Rider. So he's made just a quick filmography: 5 easy pieces, The Last Detail, Chinatown, which was probably brought him to more prominence as an actor. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Didn't he win the Oscar? He won the Oscar for that, didn't he?
The Oscar for that, yeah. The Shining.
Yeah.
Postman Always Rings Twice, Terms of Endearment. Played the original Joker in the original Batman.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, film. Few Good Men.
Yeah.
Again, he wasn't on screen that long.
No. But
he kind of takes over the whole film.
Yeah, you kind of think it of a Jack Nicholson, but obviously, though, you can't handle the truth.
Yeah, that's all you. When you say Few Good Men, it's you want the truth, you can't handle the truth. Yeah. That's all you think about. Hoffa, as good as it gets. Anger Management, Something's Got to Give. He was in Departed as well, and I think his last film was The Bucket List. He's not made a film since 2010.
I didn't know that.
So I don't know if he's retired or.
I think also he won the As Good as It Gets. He won his second Oscar for that as well. So he gave a great performance. Yeah. I know it was kind of odd because he was sort of in those like big drama action films like but As Good as It Gets actually a comedy, and I watched it. I didn't expect to really like it because I had Helen Hunt and stuff, but I actually enjoyed it. It's a really good film.
But I mean, like a lot of actors of his generation who've been around a long time, they do make some not so good films as well.
I mean, when you got a career that long, just the law of averages, you're gonna make a few bad films. But like I said, he is, in my opinion, he's in that Tom Hanks sort of that last great set of actors, and you know what I mean, all-time actors.
Yeah, I mean, you watch him and you know you're going to get a good performance.
Yeah. Necessarily, say quote unquote bad films he's been in. It's not because of him. He's always going to give a good performance. Yeah. Maybe other factors coming into it, but no, like I said, he was one of the first names that came to my head when I was thinking of the list. So, yep. Cool. My next actor is Christian Bale, and I know he can. Sort of in his early years, he could be a bit of a dick on set, but I'll try and remove myself from that. I mean, he started out as a child, didn't he? Child acting, and his proper first big role was in American Psycho, and I believe that the actual first choice was Leonardo Dicaprio for that as well, and because he turned it down, Christian Bale came along, and I think that role, because American Psycho is one of my favourite films, that role perfectly was like for him. I know he's very known to be the biggest method actor. Like he, I don't know if you've seen his interviews for films, or say where he's playing an American, he does the interview in an American accent and stuff. He just goes so full on into the film. obviously he's most notable probably for playing Batman in the Dark Knight trilogy, which is one of my favourite trilogies of all time. I think he is the best Batman of all time. He just has that. I think when people play Batman, they lose that darkness about him, but he does have that. Like I said, he's obviously carried that along from American Psycho. Like I said, he's always going to give a great performance. Like he can take there's all this stuff surrounding him, take that away, look at his acting ability. He just is a brilliant actor. And like I said, he goes. I mean, he's been in a few not so good films like Terminator Salvation, but like I said, that was more. It wasn't his performance; it was just the whole film. He's been in the Machinist, where I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but that's the film where he gets super skinny because he's really buff in like the Dark Knight trilogy, but then he goes super skinny. He looks anorexic. For this role, he had to eat an apple and drink water a day. And that just shows how committed he is to the film business, which I like. He finally won an Oscar for his performance in The Fighter. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It was a really good performance. That was one again where he had to go on a strict diet to get like almost like lose a lot of weight. But like I said, there's all this stuff surrounding him. A lot of people don't like him, but like I said, I think if you just take all that away, look at his acting ability. There's not many actors that can really. That stand up to him, so
yeah, good. Yeah, so my next choice, Steve McQueen. Again, not the greatest actor, maybe. Maybe every role he plays, he's just playing Steve McQueen. But he was nicknamed the King of Cool. He often plays the anti-hero, but he did come into conflict a lot with producers and directors. Supposedly wasn't the best actor to work with. He did have like a long-standing feud with Paul Newman.
Yeah.
The Tower Inferno, famously, there was, an argument about billing, whose name should come first. But actually, in the poster, Newman's name comes first, but Steve McQueen's is slightly higher.
And that was
just little things like that.
That was actually the first ever film to do that, and that's why we have it nowadays.
Yeah. Supposedly in the Tower Inferno, he went through the script, counted all the lines, and he insisted on he had exactly the same amount of lines as Newman. So yeah, he was a little bit strange like that. His first major film, was The Blob, science fiction.
That's
film.
favourite was, isn't it?
Yeah. He got a TV show called Wanted Dead or Alive, which is a TV western where he plays a bounty hunter. He then was cast in The Magnificent Seven. He went on to make The War Lover, Great Escape, Nevada Smith, Sand Pebbles, which he was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor. Then some of probably his most well-known ones: Thomas Crown Affair, Bullet, Le Mans, The Getaway, Papillon, which is a complete departure from his normal kind of tough guy hero image. And he was nominated for a Golden Globe for that. Tower Inferno, Tom Horn, and his final film, which was The Hunter. And he died probably too young.
Yeah, he
did. In his 50s, in about, I think, 1980. But yeah, he's one of my favourite actors.
I think
I had to include him.
With him as well, is that he is like, even though he's like the king of cool, he's an anti-hero. It's like the everyman. Like he's not exactly. He's 5'9", I think. He's not the biggest build, but
yeah.
You know what I mean.
He's actually a bit of trivia. He's famously known for turning down film roles. Like he was asked to do Breakfast at Tiffany's, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Apocalypse Now.
Oh wow!
He was actually going to play Kurtz, the Marlon Brando character. Dirty Harry, he was offered. French Connection, and Spielberg wanted him for Roy Neary in Close Encounters.
Didn't know that.
But supposedly the reason he turned it down, he said he couldn't cry on cue.
Oh,
so it's he's probably more famous for films he turned down than.
But that just shows how great of a lead man he was. That they.
Well, he was the biggest box office draw in years, I think.
I do enjoy his films. Yeah. As a person of the younger era, I do. Like I said, when I watch back, he just is cool, and he is that. Like he deserves his nickname, you know. Mm-hmm. But My next actor, I don't know if you've got him on here, is Morgan Freeman.
No, he was close again.
Obviously he's one of those generational talents, that where they just appear to be in every film, and he has. I think a lot of people hear the name Morgan Freeman and they just think of his voice, but he is just such a great actor. When you actually just take him for he's a brilliant, world-class actor. Just some of his roles I can think of is obviously Red in Shawshank Redemption. Like I said, even though Tim Robbins gives a great performance, so does Morgan Freeman. He had to, really, because like I said, they were the two main characters.
He's like, there's a lot of supporting roles. So
yeah,
he was in Unforgiven. He was in The Bucket List with Jack Nicholson.
Outbreak as well.
Yeah, so
like I said, those films, I think he's brought, because he's such a great actor, he's brought in as a supporting actor to bump up the actual film. Like I said, he's one of those films, it's like a blockbuster. When you look at a new film and he's in it, I do tend to watch it.
It certainly adds to the film.
Yes, that star power, doesn't he? I think his greatest performance is probably William Somerset in Seven.
Yeah,
David Fincher film. I love that film. I think it's one of the greatest thrillers of all time. And also in the Alex Cross films as well. I think they get kind of pushed under the rug, but I do really enjoy those films. He's great in recent films as well, like the Dark Knight trilogy and also Olympus Has Fallen. So, like I said, he's another one where his career spanned many decades and he's just as good as he was back in the 90s. Yeah. So, yeah, that's why he's on my list.
Good choice.
Thank you.
So, my next one is Al Pacino.
Yeah.
His career spanned 5 decades. He's known for his method acting, and he's got that kind of intense, explosive acting style. In some films it's like a bit like Heat. He could be accused of sort of being over the top.
I actually liked his performance in Heat.
Yeah. So obviously his breakout performance was in The Godfather. He's made films like Serpico, Dog Day Afternoon, Scarface, Sea of Love, Frankie and Johnny, Glengarry Glen Ross, Scent of a Woman, which he won an Oscar for. He's actually been nominated 9 times for an Oscar and only won once.
Is that more than Peter O'Toole?
No, I don't think so. No.
Up there though, isn't it?
Yeah. Carlito's Way, Heat, which was like everyone was waiting for Heat because that's when De Niro and Pacino would meet for the first time on screen, and it was only like 4 minutes on screen together. Donnie Brasco, Any Given Sunday, Insomnia, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and The Irishman, which is Scorsese's film, which stars him and De Niro as well. But again, he's one of those actors who's made some of his films he made in maybe the 90s and 2000 haven't been great, but you expect that of an actor who's had that such a long career. So because we've doubled up,
you can go. You can do again.
I've got two actors left. My next one's Robert De Niro.
Like I said, he was so close to being mine. I love Robert De Niro.
He's again a method actor. He goes to exceptional lengths to prepare for his roles. He actually worked as a taxi driver whilst preparing for Taxi Driver, so that's how intense he goes into a role. And unlike Pacino, his acting style is more minimal. It's more reserved. Yeah. He came to prominence in Scorsese's first film, which is Mean Streets. He was in Godfather Part 2, which he won the Academy Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role, playing Don Corleone, a character played by Marlon Brando, who won an Oscar, and that's the only time 2 actors have won Oscars for playing the same character.
Can you imagine that? That just is a testament to him, because playing the same role as Marlon Brando and matching him for performance, it's just, like I said, a testament to how great his acting ability is.
Yeah. Obviously, probably what he's most remembered for is Taxi Driver, The Deer Hunter, Raging Bull, where he plays aging boxer Jake LaMotta, and he went through. It just shows how method he was. He put a load of weight on to play LaMotta in later life, and then he went away to a boxing camp and lost a load of weight so he could portray him in the boxing roles. So yeah, he actually went through proper boxing training. I think he had a couple of professional fights as well.
Really, wow, that just shows his dedication to the.
And he got the Oscar for that for Best Actor. King of Comedy, Once Upon a Time in America, which was I think Sergio Leone's only American film. Brazil, Terry Gilliam. The Mission, The Untouchables, where again he plays Al Capone, and he almost steals the film. He's not in it a great deal again.
But like I said, you know it as the name of a film.
Goodfellas, Backdraft, with your favourite. Cape Fear. So difficult to do a remake of a film, and actually...
I actually think it's a better film.
Yeah, so... Bronx Tale, Casino, Heat, which he was in with Al Pacino, Copland, Ronin, Analyze This, which is a comedy with Billy Crystal, Meet the Parents, which is a comedy, Silver Linings Playbook, which he won the Academy Award for Best Actor, The Intern, Joker, and again The Irishman. So he's had some really, really... Admittedly, again, some of his films haven't been particularly great, but I think just for that catalogue of films and just the actor that he is,
and like you said, he's branched into like comedies and stuff. He can do any genre sort of film, you know.
So I can just watch him in anything. I think.
Is he one where you look to a film that he's in to watch it? Yeah,
definitely. Sometimes you're a little bit disappointed, but a lot of the time not. So you've got one last one.
Yep, and it might come to quite a surprise to some people, but Robert Downey Jr. I think obviously
he's in a lot of actual lists of best actors.
Yeah, I think he definitely of my generation actors, like he is probably the best actor. I know his off-screen antics could, and this is the thing, they could have destroyed his career, but no, he sobered up and he decided he sort of had two separate sort of careers, hasn't he? You know, of course, I remember back to his one of his first films, Chaplin, which he just showed his acting ability at such a young age. Like I said, he got into a lot of drug problems, but like I said, he didn't let that kick him down. He came back in the late 2000s. I remember Zodiac, which he was brilliant in, as a supporting actor in that. Obviously, Tropic Thunder, which is a really good comedy, and I know a lot of people, especially now, have a lot to say about his character, but I personally think he encompassed that, and obviously he was playing a white man playing a black man, but like I said, I think he went very method for that as well, and that's another thing, he goes very method for his movies, and obviously the big one, Iron Man. I'm a very big Avengers fan. I love all the films. I'm a very big. You're either that's what they say. You are either Iron Man guy or Captain America guy. I'm an Iron Man guy, and I think he was the perfect fit for that role because it was really odd because Iron Man was the first film in the MCU, and it wasn't back then. There's like a tier list system for superheroes, and back then Iron Man was like a C tier character, you know. The A tier was like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, you know. And it was very odd they started Iron Man off. And like I said, I was like, why are you getting such a big actor like Robert Downey Jr. to play Iron Man? But I think he's turned him into an A-list character. He's sort of carried the Avengers films. He's been there from the start. And spoilers, in Endgame, he was the one to kill Thanos. Unfortunately, he died, which I cried like a baby in the cinemas at. But like I said, I think just on an acting ability alone, he is one of the greatest actors of all time. And I think, unfortunately, that gets overshadowed by off-the-screen antics. But like I said, it's past him. He's done some great things after that, and he hasn't let it be his legacy, sort of, you know. So that's why he's on my list.
Dodgy accent in Dr. Dolittle, though.
Yeah, I've not watched that, to be fair. So, yeah,
attempt at a Welsh accent.
Yeah, I've not watched that, so
okay,
ignore that. So,
so my last one is Marlon Brando.
Yeah,
and he's had a career spanning 60 years, and he's generally regarded as the greatest and most influential actor of the 20th century. he studied with Stella Adler in the 40s, and he's been credited with being one of the first actors to bring the Stanislavski system of acting and method acting to mainstream audiences. His kind of breakout role was, I guess, Streetcar Named Desire. He was in Viva Zapata, Julius Caesar, The Wild One, which is a lot of people's favourite, On the Waterfront, which is, I must admit, is one of my particular favourites, where he won the Academy Award for Best Actor. He's in Guys and Dolls, Young Lions, Mutiny on the Bounty. The Godfather, which he won an Academy Award for Best Actor, but he famously refused it.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Over the treatment of Native American people.
It's badass, eh?
Yeah. Last Tango in Paris. Superman, played Jor-El, Superman's father. Obviously, Apocalypse Now, where, again, I think he's only on screen for 10 minutes or something like that. The Freshman is a comedy where he actually makes fun of his Godfather character. Don Juan DeMarco, The Island of Dr. Moreau, and his last film was The Score, which also starred Robert De Niro, and that's the only time they appeared together on film, even though they were both in Godfather 2.
They played the same character.
They had separate storylines.
Yeah.
I think he, just because of his influence, I think going... Before that, you had sort of movie stars, so like, say John Wayne would be John Wayne, whatever film he was in. Cary Grant would be Cary Grant, whatever film he was in. I think Marlon Brando was one of the first real method actors who wasn't Marlon Brando in every film. And
like I said, that just shows that a bit, because like a huge name like Marlon Brando, and you don't see him as Marlon Brando in his films, is just that's just shows so much acting ability, you know.
Yeah, he's made some rubbish films again. I think he had some personal troubles. But yeah, I just think for me, he's the standout number one actor.
When you think of 20th century, you think of him, don't you? Yeah,
definitely, yeah,
100%.
So that's it.
Yeah, it's been good, hasn't it?
Yeah. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.